Sultan is the lead coordinator for the Nuclear Forensics Working Group and the Institute's focal person for nuclear science and technology collaborations between DOST and the Australian Nuclear Science and Technology Organization. So to kick off Women in Nuclear, ladies and gentlemen, I would like for us to welcome Doc Valerie Ann Samson. Go girl.
Thank you for being here this morning and allowing me to share with you my journey in nuclear science and my quite long, I shall say, quite a long career already and a love story with the science. No, I would always say that one's love story with science always starts as early as you are in elementary, actually. It's as early as elementary wherein one really needs to have a passion and love for science. So this will be the outline of my talk. I'll be giving a brief background of my roots, my early career here in the Philippines, and then I moved on abroad and learned a lot of things, and then finally came home to the Philippines to give back what my country has given me as a scholar when I was in college. So I'm essentially Waray-Waray. I'm from Tacloban City. I'm from a small town near the airport. So if you've been to Tacloban City and going to the city, my elementary school is the first one that you'll see on the left side. No? So that's my elementary school right there where my first science quiz bee was in grade 4. So science and math quiz bee participant na po ako. So I love science and math as early as elementary age. And then I graduated from Leyte National High School. I'm a proud graduate of a national high school. People will always think that I graduated from Pisay, but I'm not from Pisay. I'm a proud graduate of a national high school. And then, as Ma'am Gail was saying, thank you Ma'am Gail for the generous introduction, I did my bachelor's and master's in physics in the University of the Philippines, Diliman, and I'm a DUST SEI scholar. Kung wala po ang DUST SEI, ay wala rin po ako sa harap ninyo ngayon. So therefore, I would always advocate for the scholarship as well. And then, even for my master's, pinag-aral rin po ako ng DUST to be able to complete my thesis. So isa po to sa mga tanong, actually when I was in high school, I was very good in general science, biology, and chemistry, pero physics. I did not like physics when I was in high school, pero nag-physics po ako in college. And bakit po ako nag-physics? Kasi at that time, hindi po tinatanggap ang BS Bio. Actually, passed for BS Bio in UP Diliman, but because of the fact that at that time, hindi tinatanggap ang BS Bio under the DUST SAI scholarship. So I needed to shift. And bakit hindi ako nag-chemistry? Di ba? Pwede rin namang chemistry, ma'am. Kasi sabi nyo, magaling rin kayo sa chemistry. Eh, yung stipend ng physics, ang pinakamataas. 2,000 lang yung BS Bio at saka BS Chem. Pero yung BS Physics, siya yung pinakamataas. So, I thought that it would be my best decision. It would be a good decision. Pera-pera lang, no? You are young, you are 16 or 17 years old, and you wanted more money, more allowance. Therefore, I took BS Physics. But it was a very difficult decision kasi ang hirap pala ng physics, no? Sobrang hirap pala ng physics. But luckily, I did graduate. Hindi exactly on time. By the way, at that time, physics was 5 years already. 5 years na po yung physics sa Diliman. And 5 years and 1 summer lang ako. Medyo kinapos ako ng isang SEM para makagraduate on time. And after graduating from my bachelor's degree in UP Diliman, I worked immediately dito sa PNRI. So I graduated May, by June 2002, nandito na po ako sa PNRI. And I started as an analyst yung entry position dito sa PNRI, and slowly moving up to a SRS2 after I graduated from my master's degree. So I fell in love with PNRI. I've been here, so I was here. I'm in the annual report of 2004-2005. This was my research back then, wherein I was using X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy to characterize novel thin films that we were producing to accumulate metals. So, mayroon kang thin films, tapos ipapa-accumulate mo yung metals, and then we were using X-rays because, as mentioned, X-rays are also part of the atom. So, X-rays you can derive from the interaction with the atom. That's why here in PNRI, we do X-rays, gamma rays, and neutrons. So, that is what we do here in PNRI. So, from after graduating from my master's, I went to Japan to have my PhD, under a scholarship, and this was in Tsukuba, which is 60 kilometers north of Tokyo. So fun fact, I was actually there March 13, 2011 during the great earthquake of Fukushima. So it was before 3 p.m. I was in the lab, and we were supposed to have a weekly meeting with my sensei, and lo and behold, there was this big grumbling sound, and I was under the table, and it was 3 big earthquake shock. No? And luckily, nasa first floor lang yung lab namin, kaya nakatakbo kaagad kami palabas nung lab after nung tatlong big shake. And I was praying, I believe in God. Hindi ko na natatapos hanggang I believe in God na lang yung nagagawa ko sa sobrang takot. Kasi we had machines, and the sound of the machine na gumagang goom, goom. Dahil ang lakas talaga nung earthquake. Because we were approximately 90 kilometers away from Fukushima. So if this is Tokyo, so nandito yung Ibaraki, nandito si Fukushima. Malapit-lapit lang kami. And even with the few days after, we were also affected by the radiation fallout noon. We were also a bit affected with that. Kaya I was there during the Fukushima earthquake, so I know what really happened. And then in Japan, I belong to the X-ray physics group. Since I've been doing X-rays here in PNRI, I was also doing X-rays in Japan. And at that time, I was using X-rays as well to characterize a certain kind of smart polymer. And then I also invented 2 other techniques using X-rays. So this is my X-ray physics group, and I finished my PhD, and I also won a best PhD dissertation in my graduate program. So I very proudly, March po ito, malamig, parang 5 degrees, pero malamig sa likod, but I wanted to wear something that is representative of my country. Because you can wear anywhere when you graduate, but I wanted to showcase the Filipina in me. That's why I wore the Filipiniana for my graduation. And fun fact also, as mentioned, I have a PhD in material science and engineering. But when you are abroad, you need to showcase your culture during cultural activities in the city. Nung nandito ako sa Pilipinas, hindi ako marunong magtinikling, magsingkil, mag-itik-itik. Nung nagpunta ako ng Japan, natutunan ko yung lahat. Kasi kailangan mo ikaw yung estudyante. So, yung mga tita doon, sige, mga be, sayaw kayo ng tinikling. Kaya, I would often joke that my PhD is in material science and entertainment. Kasi natuto na lahat ng mga Filipino dance natutunan ko dahil sa kailangan i-showcase yung Filipino culture sa Japan. And then after being in Japan for 6 years and doing X-ray work along with my sensei, I said that I needed to move elsewhere. I needed to have a new challenge, and I needed to have another world view again. And so I decided to apply to different institutes in the West. even in Australia, so I applied to Australia, to America, and then to Germany and other countries. Among the 50 postdoc applications that I sent, I was only shortlisted in three. So you would think that you're na parang, bakit hindi ako na-shortlist, hindi ba ako magaling? So I had doubts like that, even with what I have achieved, because you were not shortlisted for these jobs. And luckily, I was shortlisted, and I was able to be accepted at one of world-renowned institutes in Switzerland, which is the Paul Scherrer Institute. The Paul Scherrer Institute is a very big laboratory, and it's a nuclear institute, actually. This side of the institute houses nuclear research. This is nuclear research, and then this is the synchrotron light source where I was a part of, and then this is a neutron and proton facility with a muon facility as well. And then so it's a very big institute consisting of approximately 2,000 employees working on anything nuclear as well as X-rays. And I was actually accepted to be a postdoc here because they saw that I came from Philippine Nuclear. And I know nuclear already, and the project was nuclear. So it was using X-ray techniques to study something radioactive. And kumbaga, I was not studying nuclear for my PhD and first postdoc work. I was using X-rays, but because they saw in my application that I was coming from Philippine Nuclear when I was young, so I was the top contender. I became the top contender for that position. So even the Philippine Nuclear really had an effect on my career, even when I was even abroad, no. So this is where I was working. I was working at the Swiss Light Source, which is a very big X-ray machine. So it's a 300-meter diameter X-ray equipment, which is used for various applications from medicine to chemistry, biology. And my beamline was actually the MicroSAS beamline, and this beamline is one of the very few radioactive beamlines in the world. There are only 3 radioactive beamlines in the world, and this beamline is able to measure radioactive materials. So what was I measuring the X-rays with? So I was actually measuring corrosion product deposits from pressurized water reactors out of the Swiss nuclear power plants. So Switzerland is a highly nuclearized country. I believe they have 5 nuclear power plants. And they have a very strong collaboration between the academe, the research institutes, and the nuclear power plants. So what we did was, they collected these corrosion product deposits from the fuel rod. So this is a schematic of your pressurized water reactor, and then you have here the fuel rods. Now, some corrosion products will deposit here on the fuel rods, and it will have an effect on the power output of the nuclear power plant. That's why it was very important for the nuclear power plant to understand ano nga ba itong mga corrosion product deposits na to, so we can understand how to mitigate the formation of these corrosion product deposits. And these products are, of course, highly radioactive. Radioactive po siya, and we cannot just, there are a lot of safety precautions, safety being done before they can be delivered into our beamline. So the corrosion product deposits are very, very tiny. Tiny na lang yung dumarating sa beamline namin kasi masyado na siyang radioactive kapag marami. Kaya sobrang konti lang. This is actually 5 micron by 5 micron. And then we will study the different elements that are present in the corrosion product deposits. And then we reported these results to the nuclear power plant, no? And then with that, they're able to understand how to mitigate the reactor water pool para hindi magkaroon itong corrosion product deposits. So moving on, after staying for 3 years in Switzerland, I came back to the Philippines. So balik scientist, balik Pilipinas. I had a lot of introspection when I was in Switzerland. Because I felt that as as a woman in the Western country, you need to doubly work hard because you're female. No, hindi siya parang Pilipinas that there is no gender for anything here in the Philippines. But in the Western countries, you would really feel na you're judged differently because you're female. And the other fact is, I'm also Asian in a Western country. So you're Asian, you're female, therefore you need to work quadruple hard to rise above, to rise within your career. And I really wonder that if I stay here, I'll only be a worker all my life. Like, yes, I'll have fancy publications, but I'll only stay here. I'll only be in this level. I'll never be able to lead. I'll never be able to inspire because I'm Asian, I'm female. And therefore, I decided that it would be better that if I go back to the Philippines and find a job in the Philippines. So that's why this is me, 2007. When I came back, I was a very pregnant, 8-month-old, and doing a balik scientist here in PNRI as well. They graciously accepted me for a 1-month visiting scientist stint kasi manganganak na po ako. Kaya 1 month lang yung ginawa ko ring balik scientist. So that's 1 month, and then after that, I went on a maternity leave to give birth to my second daughter. And when I was already ready to be in the job market again, at that time PNRI did not have a suitable position for me, and so therefore I went to UP Diliman. So they offered me a teaching position. I was assistant professor 7, and I was teaching solid state and high energy and nuclear physics. And I led several projects that are international in nature because I'm good with international collaboration, being abroad for many years, and therefore I led a CERN project. I also led the collaboration with other international organizations. But teaching is, I realized, is not for me. I cannot teach 5 days a week. Parang second year ko palang tinatanong ko na yung sarili ko na, can I do this for the next 5 years? So kung ganun na yung tinatanong mo sa sarili mo, ibig sabihin hindi yun yung karera na para sa'yo, di ba? Kasi dapat everyday okay ka na, I'm going to work. And second year ko palang tinatanong ko na yung kaya ko bang magturo ng another 5 years, no? It's not because I can't teach, no? It's just the many preparations that you need when you are teaching, and I've not been trained with that. As you've seen in my career, I was a researcher all my life, and then suddenly you have a change in career na very different from what you were used to. That's why after my second year in UP, I decided to come back to PNRI, and luckily there was a scientist position, an associate scientist position that was available here in PNRI. So it was a full circle, I would say. So starting from an analyst here in PNRI at 2002, then I came back an associate scientist already January 2020, and soon after I was conferred the Career Scientist 1, which is an honor and conferment given by the Civil Service Commission as well as the Department of Science and Technology. So in the scientific career system, even if you have a plantilla position that is quite low, your salary jumps to salary grade 26, 27. But of course, you need to prove that. So there's a lot of process to be able to be conferred that rank. And then soon after, I became Deputy Director of the Philippine Nuclear Research Institute. So so I'm still doing scientific work until now, even if I'm part of admin already. I'm still finishing a research work which is in collaboration with a geothermal power plant. So nuclear and geothermal can actually work together. So I am actually helping another type of energy source so that they can become more efficient. So this type of research work is what you call gamma-computed tomography. So alam niyo po ba yung computed tomography, yung CT scan? Di ba yung CT scan sa mga hospital, ginagawa siya sa mga tao, di ba? And ang purpose is para makita yung loob ng tao nang hindi ka binubuksan. Di ba? So para makita yung cross-section, minsan sa brain, minsan sa tiyan, para makita kung nasaan yung mga, kung may lesions, kung may tumors, di ba? So alam natin yan na ginagamit yan sa hospital. So yan yung mga cross-section ng katawan ng isang tao. Actually, you can also do the same for industrial system. So pwede ka rin gumamit ng CT scanning sa mga industrial pipes para hindi mo na siya kailangang buksan, di ba? So para ma-detect mo kung ano yung deposit, kung meron na bang mga bara doon sa mga industrial pipe, tapos hindi mo na siya kailangan buksan. Sorry. Kasi if you need to open, then it means na mag-shutdown yung planta, di ba? And this will mean in industry, syempre pera, di ba? So this is just an example of a geothermal power system. So meron kang heat coming from the ground and the heat is being pushed upward to turn the turbine and then giving it to the electrical power grid. So essentially yung steam na galing sa lupa, yun yung magpapaturn ng turbine. However, itong steam na galing sa under the ground, they contain a lot of deposits like silicate, yan yung mga bato-bato, mga ano, hindi siya purely steam. And because of that, pwedeng bumara yung mga, at magkaroon ng mga ganito kalalaking deposition doon sa pipe. Ngayon, kung ganito na lang kaliit yung pagdadaanan ng steam, syempre, barado na yan, di ba? So, pag barado na, hindi na malakas yung efficiency ng steam para paikutin to. Ang ginagawa ng mga geothermal power plant, essentially, kailangan nilang buksan, di ba? Bago nila malaman na, ay naku, ang laki na pala ng bara, di ba? Kailangan ng buksan. But in our case, we just have to image and then this is a cross-section. Ito, bukas na po talaga to. So, ito yung ang image na makikita namin sa isang gamma CT. So, yung geothermal power plant, makikita nila na ay ganito nakakapal yung deposit, di ba? So siguro bantayan natin, baka mga in 3 months magbabara na to. So they can schedule properly as well. So this means that we are actually able to have an economic benefit out of this project wherein ang cost kasi ng pagsara ng isang geothermal power plant is approximately 2.8 million per hour, no? So kung ma-prevent mo ang isang 24-hour shutdown, di ba? So you are actually giving back 48 million pesos worth of money back to the geothermal power plant by having a good detection technique kung nasaan na yung mga bara nila. So that's one exciting development that I'm producing the equipment, so I can't show you the equipment yet. And it's Filipino made, it's all Filipino engineers. And yes, we're still finishing it. And hopefully, this year, we will be able to promote the equipment. So walang bili po dito, kami po ang nagde-develop ng equipment itself. And then moving on, here in PNRI, I'm doing a lot of global scientific network and policy making for the future of the Filipino people. I'm one of the lead conveners for the Philippines to be a member of CERN. CERN is the Central European Research Nuclear, where it's High Energy Physics Institute, and we are a member of that. A lot of hard work was put there, and then also a lot of international organizations. I'm trying to connect PNRI with a lot of international organizations to promote strong scientific collaborations. Meron tayong mga equipment na wala dito sa Pilipinas, pwede tayo makigamit sa kanila, di ba? Dahil yun yung purpose, bakit tayo kailangan makipag-collaborate. And aside from that, more admin stuff. I've been part of the Nuclear Power Program Steering Committee, the NEPIAC, the NEP-IAC. I've been to Congress many times. Ms. Gail knows that, just to advance the PhilAtom law, which will hopefully give us a separate regulatory independent regulatory body, nuclear regulatory body, because that's one of the key items that we have before we can push for the opening of a nuclear power plant. Kasi yung mga suppliers ng mga nuclear power plant, hindi sila makikipag-usap sa Pilipinas kung wala tayong independent nuclear regulatory body, di ba? Kasi gusto nila meron talagang independence yung nuclear regulatory body. And some learnings along the way, science has no gender, no? Although there might be some politics behind, but essentially science has no gender. Anyone can work with science as long as you have the passion and curiosity it takes to be a scientist. And for all the young girls who are here, my career was always been like led by taking that big leaps, no? I've always been parang sige, let's get on that next challenge, no? Never be afraid to take those big challenges. Sometimes we doubt ourselves kasi. I think it's very normal for girls na dinadoubt natin yung sarili natin, di ba? Na parang hindi ako magaling enough, baka kulang pa ako. We're not like guys na minsan yung mga lalaki sugod lang ng sugod. Yung mga girls, we always have that reservation amongst ourselves. But always take note that we are hard workers and we are diligent. I know that females, for a fact, are very hardworking and very diligent. And let's take that springboard into the next big leap that we want to make in our careers. And you see all the stellar accomplishments. You always hear about the CV, but you never hear about the rejections that I have. No? You might think na wala akong rejection, but I got lots and lots of rejections. That's why I always emphasize that before I got that Swiss job, I actually applied to 50 postdoc application. And it was not easy to receive rejection after rejection after rejection. No? Tao lang tayo. Bawat rejection, masakit sa puso. Diba? Kumukurot sa puso mo na, was I not good enough? Bakit parang hindi ata ako magaling, di ba? It eats in your heart also. But nevertheless, you persevere. You persevere because you know that you have a place under the sun. You know that you have what it takes. Hindi pa lang nakukuha yung hindi pa panahon mo para sa ibang bagay. Kaya just persevere. Not all scientists the careers of scientists are not built on accomplishments alone. Actually, there were a lot of failures, 'di ba? Kahit si Thomas Edison, 'di ba? Sabi niya 'yon na yung patent niya on the light bulb, actually there was like 1,000 tries before that successful patent. And then lastly, on the thought that we don't trust ourselves as much, Filipinas or females in general we have less trust in ourselves. And there was an International Atomic Energy officer who came to me after hearing me talk. He said that, why are you not in the IAEA? He said. And then I said, maybe, I'm not so confident. That was just 2 years ago. I said, I'm not confident enough. Like, maybe my CV is not enough. And then he said, why are you saying that? He said, why are you saying that? You know that how a bird just flies all over the place? He said that when a bird actually lands down on something, kanino siya nagtatras? Doon sa branch o doon sa wings niya? Doon sa wings niya. Hindi, it doesn't matter where the bird lands. But what matters is the bird trusts its wings. So we need to hone our wings, Filipinas. We need to always hone our wings and to always trust those wings wherever we land. Diba? So, yun yung aral niya sa akin. Kaya I always put this in my presentation to inspire young girls and young Filipinas that we need to hone our wings and trust our wings, right? When the right time comes. And of course, ang pinaka-importante ay magsilbi sa bayan. Diba? I might have like a lot of publications. Even in Japan, I have always been asking myself na, oo, meron akong awards, meron akong publication, pero para kanino to? Para sa Japan. Diba? Parang hindi to para sa Pilipino. Mas ngayon, nandito ako, mahirap makapublish dito sa Pilipinas. Mahirap gumawa ng science sa Pilipinas until now because of the limitations in procurement, the limitations of the supplies, hindi readily available sa amin. But yung saya na nabibigay mo na ginagawa ko to para sa Pilipinas, mas fulfilling siya rather than all the accolades that I might have received abroad. Mas fulfilling to na nagtatrabaho ako para sa Pilipinas, para sa Pilipino. At yun ang mahalaga, yun ang mas fulfilling. Kahit saan ka man mapunta sa abroad, you will always find fulfillment in serving your own country. Alright? And with that, maraming salamat po.